In the backyards of New York City's tenement slums, around 1900, laundry dances on clotheslines, swaying in the breeze like humble banners of daily life. A woman sits quietly by the stove in 1905, surrounded by the dim squalor of a tenement building, her presence a soft glow amidst the shadows of hardship. On the pedestrian promenade of the East River Bridge, a stereoscopic image freezes a moment where people rest on benches and stroll together, the hybrid marvel beneath their feet, whispering tales of connection. Along 28th Street, between 5th and 6th Avenues, the buildings of Tin Pan Alley rise, once alive with the clatter of pianos and the dreams of songwriters chasing fame at the century's turn. At the Duane Street lodging house on 9 Duane Street, a newsboy slips a paper to a man in the restroom, a fleeting exchange that carried the world's stories into even the quietest corners. The Apollo Theatre on 42nd Street stands proud in the early 1900s, its stage a glowing hearth where vaudeville lit up the night with laughter and wonder. In an attic around 1900, a family of 11 children and 1 adult shares a cramped space, clothes strung across the room on lines, their closeness weaving a tender thread through the struggle. Beside a newsstand in City Hall Park, a group of men linger, 2 in uniforms marked Towermen, their caps a nod to the unseen hands that kept Manhattan's pulse beating strong. Between 1906 and 1908, the pedestrian walkway of the Brooklyn Bridge stretches out, echoing with the footsteps of New Yorkers who crossed it, their eyes tracing the city's soaring dreams. Shoppers gather on the Lower East Side, where vendors hawk their wares outside haberdasheries at 57 and 55 Hester Street, the sidewalk buzzing with the heartbeat of a thriving, chaotic world. On the East Side, between 1890 and 1901, a Jewish market unfolds in vivid color, its unknown creator capturing a place where voices mingled and traditions held fast in a new land. A man strides down Fifth Avenue around 1900, a sign proclaiming Dr. Rankin's dental parlor pinned to his coat, his steps a testament to the hustle of a city where even people became advertisements. Looking north on Mott Street in Chinatown, Chinese restaurants and stores frame a lively scene of pedestrians and carts, a corner of New York where distant memories found a home. Brownstones line Fifth Avenue between 60th and 61st Streets, their elegance a backdrop as two women pass each other, their fleeting encounter softening the grandeur of the moment. Inside the Metropolitan Opera House, the orchestra swells in the foreground while the audience watches from afar, a timeless space where music wove souls together across divides. In 1908, the Metropolitan Opera House stands as a palace of art, its walls ringing with the voices of performers who turned notes into dreams for a city that never slept. At Broadway and 39th Street, around 1900, the Metropolitan Opera House gleams, a cultural lighthouse in a New York that balanced tradition with the rush of tomorrow. Children clutch American flags atop the rooftop garden of Ellis Island, riding tricycles and wagons, their laughter a bright promise blooming above the uncertainties below. On Labor Day, a sightseeing bus rolls through New York, brimming with members of the Women's Auxiliary Typographical Union, their presence a bold chorus of strength and unity. Nelson Jackson and Sewell K. Crocker sit in Jackson's 1903 Winton, the first to drive across the continent from San Francisco, their journey daring him to the spirit of adventure. Wall Street stretches west before us, a canyon of ambition where fortunes rose and fell, its stones holding the echoes of a financial empire in the making. From an army plane, Lower Manhattan and the Battery unfold below, the skyline a jagged poem of steel and stone, breathing with the life of a city that reached for the sky. Jacob Riis's black and white lens captures a boy carrying his younger brother at a new playground. Their bond a tender light piercing the grit of urban life long ago. In Bottle Alley, a man and a young girl gaze into a tenement courtyard, their curiosity framed by a photograph that once spoke in a murder trial, whispering secrets of a shadowed past. People line up patiently to buy coal during a strike, perhaps in New York City, their faces etched with the quiet resolve of those who weathered life's coldest days. A stereoscopic view from 1905 shows pedestrians threading through Lower Manhattan, a cafe-restaurant sign beckoning like a warm hand in the bustle of the streets. Immigrant men sit at Ellis Island, their eyes tracing paths between hope and doubt, each one a story unfolding on the edge of a new world they dared to claim. John Jacob Astor's house towers over Fifth Avenue and 65th Street around 1900, a monument of wealth that stood apart, yet near, the city's humbler hearts. Men rest outside shacks in a New York slum of the early 1900s, their weathered faces and makeshift homes a quiet song of endurance in a world that often looked away. On October 27, 1904, financiers, officials, and policemen ride the first subway from City Hall Station, their seats at the front marking the dawn of a new rhythm beneath the streets. Telephone operators sit before a sprawling switchboard at the Cortlandt Exchange, their deft hands threading voices through the city, stitching lives together with every call. In 1905, pedestrians crossed the Brooklyn Bridge, its cables a sturdy embrace above the East River, offering a perch to marvel at a city that never stood still. The 1906 map unfurls steamship lines, piers, ferries, and subway tracks, a delicate web drawn in ink, tracing the veins of a New York that pulsed with movement. Around 1920, an Irish immigrant waits beside an Italian mother and her children at Ellis Island, their shared silence a bridge between old lives and the promise ahead. In 1905, New York Harbor hums as workers unload banana boats, their labor a thread in the tapestry of a port that welcomed the world to America's shores. African-American workers grip pickaxes and shovels, tearing down the first Plaza Hotel's foundation, their sweat a silent cornerstone of a city they helped build. On Easter Sunday 1900, Fifth Avenue blooms with elegance, a parade of finery where New York's elite strolled, the day a mirror to a city in love with itself. The Flatiron Building rises around 1902, its sharp edges cutting the sky, an icon of a New York that dared to shape the future with every bold line. In the 1900s, immigrants filled the East Side's Bowery Market, traders bartering under the gaze of an unknown artist, their voices a chorus of new beginnings. A German family aboard the SS, New Amsterdam gazes at the New York skyline, its towers a distant welcome, the first brushstrokes of their American story. Around 1904, the City Hall subway station glows with vaulted ceilings and tiles, a hidden jewel beneath the streets, blending beauty with the city's ceaseless rush. On Easter Sunday, Fifth Avenue at 51st Street shines, the Vanderbilt mansions looming grandly, yet the day belongs to the crowd, a shared breath of celebration. A New York City policeman stands tall in the 1900s, his badge and uniform a steady presence, guarding a city that thrummed with chaos and hope alike. In 1900, officials step into a tenement, their inspection a faint promise of change, a whisper of care for those tucked into New York's crowded corners. An illustrated postcard by Pierre P. Poulos captures men at the Hudson and Manhattan subway terminal, a bustling knot where journeys wove into the city's fabric. In 1908, the Bruno family stitches clothing at 7 Elizabeth Street, their tenement a workshop of dreams, each thread a testament to their unyielding spirit. A 1908 photograph from Atlanta, Georgia, shows saloons drawing a stark color line, a bitter memory of division, yet the faces there hold a quiet strength. Between 1905 and 1910, people gather on the stoop of a tenement in a Jewish ghetto, the air rich with stories, the steps a stage for a community's heartbeat. Sicilian men stand at Ellis Island, numbered tags on their coats, luggage at their feet, their eyes bright with the courage of those who crossed oceans for a chance. In the winter of 1900, people board streetcars, their breath fogging the air, the cars a warm refuge rolling through a city cloaked in frost. On Mulberry Street around 1900, boys hawk bread in an Italian neighborhood, their young voices ringing out, a melody of hustle in a world they'd soon shape. An ambulance from Flower Hospital cuts through New York City, a lifeline on wheels, racing to mend lives in a place where every moment mattered. Looking north from Vesey Street, Broadway stretches out, the old US Post Office standing firm at Park Row, a cornerstone of a city, tied by letters and dreams. In the early 20th century, women march with signs against child labor, their words a fierce cry for justice, their steps a ripple toward a better tomorrow. Bunk rooms in a New York tenement house cradle families in tight embrace, their walls a silent witness to dreams that bloomed despite the squeeze. An elderly Russian Jewish immigrant stands at Ellis Island, wrapped in heavy clothes, his luggage a lifetime packed beside him, his gaze fixed on a new dawn. Around 1900, the Bowery stretches north, an elevated train rumbling overhead, its tracks a lifeline above a street where past and progress collided. At the Polo Grounds in the late 1900s or early 1910s, spectators filled bleachers and lined the field, baseball weaving them into a shared joy that echoed through time. Edwin Levick's lens captures the Ellis Island Registry Room, its pens brimming with immigrants, each face a quiet prayer for a future stamped with welcome. Around 1900, immigrants line up at Ellis Island for the ferry to New York, their way to final pause before the city's embrace, their hopes carried on the tide.